Trainers, what's going on? Welcome back to another Umamusume video. In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Halloween makeover event. Now, what we're going to go ahead and talk about in this video is how we're going to be able to complete this event as fast as possible and the key things that you need to make sure you get in this event. Now, let's go ahead and start with which race are we going to run if you want to complete it as fast as possible. Now, if you want to complete it as fast as possible, the URA final is actually going to be your fastest way of clearing this event. The reason being, the URA final is doable in about 30 minutes or so, while the Unity Cup takes about like 45 minutes or so. So you're going to be able to get more runs done on the URA final than you will on the Unity Cup. Also, clearing the URA final is a great way to work on your parents. So don't think you're just wasting your time doing the URA final. It's a really good race to still be doing. Now, if we want to go ahead and go over exactly what breaks down into what for the point bonus, we'll go ahead and talk about that next. Now, me personally, I am doing the Unity Cup. The reason why I'm doing the Unity Cup is I'm still working on a few more of these special missions, so I have to do a few more Unity Cup runs, as well as I believe Unity Cup is a better way to work on your aces, and I am trying to work on a few aces right now as well on the Unity Cup. So I would recommend, if you don't have a lot of TP, but you have a good amount of time on your hands, go ahead and throw the Unity Cup as your way of doing it. And if you do not have a lot of time, but you have plenty of TP to waste, go ahead and do the URA Finals. The URA Finals will be a little bit faster, and the Unity Cup will be a little bit more efficient. Now, what are we going to talk about next is the whole point breakdown on how exactly is the points calculated. Now, if you look on the right side of your screen right here, we have the 3 categories that will give you points, and then we have our event bonus total. So let's go over that one by one. The rating right here of 24,000, as you see, that's going to be the bulk of your points. Now, how do we get that rating? Now, one key thing to note before we talk about the points is that all those points are actually doubled. And the reason why they're doubled is because there's a new feature in the game currently where you can double your bonus by doubling your TP usage. So do keep in mind that that 24,384 is actually doubled. So now, how do we get that original rating of the bonus points? Well, that's actually just straight up 1-to-1 the points of your Uma that ran that race, that ran that scenario. So as you see right here, my Uma right here got 12,192 rating, and that translates perfectly to the 24,384 points once it is doubled. So the very key thing to note is that you're going to want to try to get as high rating as possible on every single run that you can do. So that means you want to try to get as high stats as possible, try to get as many gold skills as possible. You know how to get a high rating. Now, the other one that we have to talk about is the Flets that we got 2,000 points on. That one I wouldn't really focus too much on. That's basically just like your little achievements that you get throughout the run. And then, of course, the wins that you get throughout your scenario. So you want to run as many G1 races as possible. But do remember, rating gives more points at the end of the day than wins, but skills also give rating as well. So try to do as many G1 races as possible, so you can go ahead and honestly work on a good parent run while you do this event, and it'll be a very efficient way of doing this. Now, the final thing that we have to keep in mind is the event bonus total. Now, the event bonus total, I believe we can look at the event bonus right here. Yep. The event bonus right here is shown by your, actually, I think there was a better screen, was there not? I think there was under career. So if we go to career, I believe it shows a better view of this, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Okay, so if we click details right here, it will show the event bonus Umas right here and my event bonus trainees. Basically, it's going to take your highest support card right here that you have and the highest limit break. Do note that you no longer have to have any of these cards in your actual deck. As you see, the deck that I was using up here for my runs was something like this. It wasn't even anything except for the Makitaro because it has a scenario link that I like, but that's the only one that was really in there. So you don't even need to have any event bonuses. You're still going to be able to get the max bonus even though you don't have any of these support cards in your deck. So don't feel like you have to have a crappy run with these crappy support cards when in reality you don't even need them in your deck. So basically it's going to be these support cards, just try to limit break them as high as possible. Once they're limit broken, then you'll get a higher event bonus. Once you get that Mihono Bourbon card unlocked, do make sure you limit break it as well, because that will allow you to get a higher event bonus as well. So those are very key tips to power up your event bonus right here. And then if you follow all of those tips and you are able to get a nice like A+ or higher UMA, you should be able to get around 49,000 points if you've got a similar event total bonus to me. If you've got less, then obviously you're going to need a little bit more or a little bit less. Now, with all that said, what is our final goal in this? Why do we need to clear this event? What is the minimum that we're going to be going for? Well, the minimum that we need in this event is 400,000 points. The reason why I say 400,000 is we simply, at the bare minimum, need to get this Mihono Bourbon. If you miss out on the rest of the rewards, it is not as big a hit to you as losing this Mihono Bourbon right here. The reason why I say this is this Mihono Bourbon has one of the best, I would say, arguably the best front runner skill in the game. The reason why I say that is because most front runners in the game need to be in first place to activate their skills. And what this skill does right here is at the beginning of the race, it allows them to get that first place. So you'll trigger early lead in the beginning of the early race, and then you will get first place, and then you will purchase front runner straightaways and front runner corners, which will allow you to keep that velocity higher, which will allow you to keep that first place, which will allow you to keep proccing skills such as angling and scheming in the late game to help you win that race. So that's why early lead is very, very important for the front runner game. And honestly, if you miss this card, you're going to struggle with building front runners in the future. So in the bare minimum, you're going to want to get this card right here. It's very, very important. If you don't care about front runners, then this doesn't matter to you very much. But if you do have any plans of building a front runner in the future, or at least anytime soon, this is a must-have card. Now, other than that, we're going to want to try to get all of the rainbow crystal shards right here. The rainbow crystal shards will allow us to limit break any of our support cards that we want once this is fully sharded out. So I believe we need like 20 crystal shards. I could be wrong. I forget exactly the number, but this is just a piece of the whole crystal shard that we got from the half anniversary that allowed us to limit break a card for free. Now we also get a second one down here at 920,000 points. So if you can, try to get at least to the 920,000 points to get the rainbow crystals. If you don't have a lot of time on your hands, then just go ahead and throw up to 400,000 points at the bare minimum. Try to get that Mihono Bourbon. It's very important. Again, remember, if you don't have a lot of time on your hands to do the, what is it called? Go back, the URA Final. It's a little bit faster. You're going to have a little bit less points per run if you can't get your UMAs as high rating as you can in the Unity Cup, but the Unity Cup does take a lot longer. So with that all in mind, go ahead and make your decision on whatever you think is best, and hopefully you guys are all able to get that Mihono Bourbon card, and we'll be able to build some fun front runners finally. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.